In this video, I will explain the longitudinal analysis data sheets that were created for the Faculty Institute. As you can see, this file is divided into two main sections. The top section will give you control about all the information that's going to be displayed, and then the bottom section has all the information in tables and in graphs. The information of tables and graphs is also divided into two different sections. The first section is going to show everything aggregated at course level, and the bottom section will break down the information at CRN level. The first thing you're going to notice on the top is that some of the cells are white. What this means is that those are options that you can choose while you're controlling your file. Everything else is protected, so you won't be able to change it. But if you click on the white spaces, you will be able to choose out of the different options. In this case, the course option will let you choose all the different courses that you taught during the specific time window. If you pick one, the information will start to get populated into the data. As you can see, it was populating into the table as well as we get graphs. The filter by demographic option will let you filter by all the different demographics that there are. There's gender, there's ethnicity, and there's age group. Right now, we have it at total, but we could change it to a gender and everything, and then we'll have the option to choose either we want to look at male, female, or unreported students. Please keep in mind that this might take a while to load, so please be patient. Here, then, we can choose whatever demographic we want, and the same happens if you pick ethnicity or age group. Now, if we start looking at the data, this file specifically represents the head count, and the first table will show you total head count for all the different terms for that specific course. There's also a graph on the bottom that can show you. And then if we start moving to the right, we'll start seeing information broken down by also by the time of day. It was a morning class, evening class, afternoon class, or a multiple time class. And lastly, it will also show the data by class length, how many students you had for the different class lengths that you taught that class. If we go down at CRN level, we have the same information but broken down by CRN. As you can see, the table will tell you what CRN you taught, the term, the format, the time of day, the length, the head count, and depending on what demographic you have, it will break it down. In this case, we have gender. But if we choose ethnicity, the table will expand and will show you all the different ethnicities. And there you go, the data populated, and we can see. However, if this is too much information, you could always filter it down and just choose one of the options. In this case, we choose the Asian option, and everything else gets updated just to show us the numbers for Asian. If we look at the right, we have the exact same data as shown previously, where we break down by format. It was an on-campus or online class. If it was time of day of the class. And that these options are going to be grouped together. In this case, all the on-campus are on the left and then followed by the online on the right. In the example here, we have 9 weeks, so everything is together. But on your data sheets, this should be put together in order. Going back to the top part of your file, you're going to see 4 more filters. The first filters that I'm going to talk about right now are the show analysis by course level and show analysis by CRN level. These filters basically corresponds to the first part of the data sheet, which talks all about course level, and this talks about the bottom part of it with CRN level. What this will do will hide the information. In this case, if we don't want to see the information for CRN level, you could choose no, and then if you scroll down, you won't see it. the same happens if you can hide also the information by course level. On the bottom, we have two more filters that says compare with all sections of the certain class and compare with all sections of your specific program. In this case, we're looking for the program sports and the class SEC 999, which are made up just for the purposes of this example. This one will add more information on the course level part of the analysis. In this case, you have your sections of your class here. However, if you want to compare with all the other sections that all the other faculty members taught for that specific class, you could say yes, and the table will tell you those numbers, and also the graphs will update and show you all the information. This is also true for all the graphs on the right. And if you also want to compare with all the sections for that program of that class, you can also look at it and it will show you all those numbers too. You have the option to hide them however you want. Lastly, there's a button here that will clear the filter. What that means is that if you press it, it will basically filter by demographic back to total. It will hide the analysis by CRN level, and it will also hide all the different comparison levels your classes. In this case, it will hide all the sections for that class and all the sections for that program. This, as you might remember, is a blue file which corresponds to headcount, but there are also two more files where retention and success. In this example, I'm going to go over retention really briefly. Since the success file is the same as the retention file, again, we have the green file, which is retention, and you have to pick your course, then the data will populate. Be patient, because especially the success earned files are bigger than the headcount files. And then the numbers populated. This format, the formatting of the files is the same. You're going to see that you have your main graphs and tables by course level, which is the same data on the right for format, for time of day, and for length at course level. And then if you go down, it will be broken down by CRN level. Again, the filter by demographics work the same way as explained before. However, something new in this is that we added the enroll numbers as well as the retention numbers and the retention percentages. In this case, for spring 18, out of 71 students, 49 had a retention rate of 69%. Keep in mind that the graphs will only show you the percentages, but the table will give you the overall idea of what the percentage represents. So use both the graphs and the table to understand your success and retention percentages accordingly. One last thing that you also have to keep in mind is that the graph will show you 0% even when the enrollment was 0. So in those cases when you have a 0%, make sure to look at your table and make sure that the enrollment is 0. If the enrollment is 0, the retention number and the retention rate will be represented by 3 dashes, meaning that those numbers don't apply. So you don't have to worry about that. However, if the enrollment is higher than 0, there might be cases where retention is 0 and 0%.